For what purpose does the senator from the 50th rise?
Mr. President, I move to table House Bill 1188.
Senator from the 50th has asked for unanimous consent to place House Bill 1188 on the table. Is there objection? The chair hears none, and 1188 is placed on the table. Mr. Secretary, can you please read the caption of House Bill 1349?
House Bill 1349, a bill by Representatives Ridley of the 6th and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend Code Section 27-1-3 of the OCGA relating to legislative decorations, ownership and custody of wildlife, preservation of hunting and fishing opportunities, promotion and right to hunt, trap, or fish, local regulation, and for other purposes. Mr. President, the Senate Committee on Natural Resources and the Environment recommend that this bill do pass. Respectfully submitted, Senator Harper of the 7th District Chairman. That completes the order, Mr. President.
Chair recognizes the senator from the 7th to present House Bill 1349.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, House Bill 1349 simply is a bill that addresses no net loss in our state, and it simply changes the date from 2005 to 2022, which would increase the amount of lands that would fall under that no net loss provision to ensure that the lands that are owned and operated by the department continue to be utilized for hunting and fishing and outdoor activities. If there are no questions, Mr. President, I'll yield the well.
You don't appear to have any questions. Your hunting buddy back there might have had one late, but he missed the window. Any other senator wish to speak for or against House Bill 1349? The chair sees none. Is there objection to agreeing to the report of the committee which is favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Is there objection to the main question being ordered? The chair hears none, and the main question is ordered. Questions on the passage of the bill? All those in favor vote yea. Opposed, nay. The Secretary will unlock the machine. On the passage of the bill, the yeas are 52, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Mr. Secretary, can you please read the caption of House Bill 1372?
House Bill 1372, a bill by Representative Smith of the 133rd and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend Title 25 of the OCGA relating to fire protection and safety so as to revise the provisions and short title of Chapter 9, the Georgia Utility Facility Protection Act, and for other purposes. Mr. President, the Senate Committee on Regulated Industries and Utilities recommend that this bill do pass. Respectfully submitted, Senator Cowser of the 46th District Chairman. That completes the order, Mr. President.
The only thing between us and lunch is the senator from the 37th, who's recognized to speak for House Bill 1372.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members of the Senate, House Bill 1372 brings in all the utilities that were not, or that were formerly not under the 811 bill. The only thing that was not in it was traffic cables and traffic control signals. They've been brought in. This also provides that anyone digging underground that cuts a gas line or a hazardous petroleum product would have to immediately notify 911, not 811, but 911. Also has a few other edits, but nothing of any importance, really. It's just more housekeeping. The majority of the bill, it has the approval. DOT has agreed to be a part of 811. The railroads are happy with the bill. The utility companies are happy. It appears that the governmental entities are happy, since the cities and counties are already members of 811. I urge your passage of the bill. It's a great bill. Thank you. If there's no
You have a
question.
question. Chair recognizes the senator from the 36th to your left.
Thank you, Mr. President. Not to delay this deliberation on your excellent bill, but I just wanted a clarification. What does the bill do on extending the time for responding?
It does not extend the time for responding. The 48-hour rule is still in place, but you can call in. When you call in, you can either call in from 42 hours to,
8 days.
48 hours. It's basically goes from 2 days to 6 working days. So it gives you a longer window on the front end, but if you need it within 48 hours, you can stipulate that.
Great. So that's really an improvement for smoothing the pathway to get this done right.
That's in the bill, yes.
That's
ma'am.
right. Thank you, sir.
You don't appear to have any more questions. Does any other senator wish to speak for or against House Bill 1372? The chair sees none. Is there objection to agreeing the report of the committee which is favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Is there objection to the main question being ordered? The chair hears none and the main question is ordered. Questions on the passage of the bill? All those in favor vote yea. Opposed nay. The secretary will unlock the machine. On the passage of the bill, the yeas are 50, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. I got a feeling we've got another delay on lunch. Chair recognizes the senator from the 50th.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate take from the table House Bill 1188.
Mr. Secretary, can you please read the caption?
House Bill 1188, a bill by Representatives Law of the 122nd and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend Code Section 16-6-4 of the OCGA relating to child molestation and aggravated child molestation so as to provide that each act of child molestation shall be charged as a separate offense and for other purposes. That completes the order, Mr. President.
Senator from the 50th has asked for unanimous consent to take House Bill 1188 off the table. Is there objection? The chair hears none, and it's taken from the table. The chair recognizes the senator from the 50th to speak to the measure.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise today to bring House Bill 1188. This bill is in response to a recent Supreme Court decision construing a statute in a certain way which was not the original intent of the legislature. What this bill does is if you are a child molester and you molest a child or you are in possession of child pornography, as the law is written right now and as it is interpreted, whether you have one image or 1,000 images or whether you molest a child once or multiple times, you can only be charged one time. What this bill does is clarifies that you can be charged for each image that you have and each time you touch and molest a child. And if there are any questions, I'm happy to yield.
Chair recognizes the senator from the 26th with a question.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senator Yale,
I do.
what age? Isn't it true if you're in high school, you got a ninth grader who's crazy about a senior that's a quarterback for the football team? And there's probably about a 3-year difference. What happens if kids get promiscuous?
This bill in no way changes the Romeo and Juliet laws. If it's legal under current law, this will not affect that. This is dealing with possession of child pornography and child molestation.
Gentleman, you've heard.
I do.
It has nothing to do with touching then. Is that what you're telling me?
Legal touching. If you know,
Who, gentleman, further you?
I do.
Who decides the legal touching of children?
The official code of Georgia annotated specifies the age at which someone can consent to sexual touching, and in Georgia it's 16.
Gentlemen, you're further.
I do.
So you're telling me that if the ninth grade is not 16 years old and the senior is 19, there's a real problem?
If the senior is 19 years old,
Yeah, you have some kids who might have repeated one grade in their senior year be 19. It's according to when their birthday was, if the birthday wasn't before September the 1st.
to my friend from the 26th, I believe the Romeo and Juliet statute, which allows a 4-year gap, does not extend to 19-year-olds. So I believe a 19-year-old having an inappropriate relation with someone under the age of 16 would be considered an illegal touching, if I'm not mistaken. But this law does not impact that. This law has to do with possession of child pornography, and it has to do with molesting a child. It doesn't change the ages.
You have no more questions.
Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the well.
Chair recognizes the senator from the 6th to speak to amendment number 1.
Thank you, Mr. President. Much like the senator who was presenting the bill, this amendment was motivated by a case that dealt with a predator who exploited dozens of young girls online for his own sexual gratification. Predator used Snapchat and Instagram to solicit sexually explicit photographs and videos from dozens and dozens of victims. That predator demanded that these girls perform sexually humiliating acts and bullied, threatened, and extorted them if they refused or said no, and threatened to share with family and friends. And even when the girls blocked that person, he would just reestablish new accounts and go after them. I think law enforcement estimated that in one case, the predator coerced as many as 100 minor victims to send him child pornography. He was able to target, access, and groom innocent children by using social networking websites, and that's what this is about. While social media platforms can be used for education, collaboration, they can also be used by criminals, by predators to lurk, gather information, target, access countless innocent children. This amendment is intended to only prevent predators from doing this, not only from doing this, but it's also to show that there is no hiding from justice and that we're going to do whatever we need to do to protect our children. Now, with respect to the specific language of the amendment, it only applies to high-risk sex offenders, which are under the code are people convicted of offending against a minor by committing a sexually violent offense. And then if they are on the sex registry and they have been classified as a high-risk sex offender, then this law will apply and prohibit them from using social media networking sites to target kids, groom them, and basically find their new victims. I would appreciate you supporting this, and I yield the well.
Does any other senator wish to speak for or against House Bill 1188 or Amendment Number 1? Chair recognizes the senator from the 50th to close the debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, I rise to close debate and ask that you support the amendment and not object. Thank you. Mr. President, I yield the well.
The debate has been closed. All right, we're going to take up Amendment Number 1 from the senator from the 6th. Is there objection to adoption of Amendment Number 1? The chair hears none, and Amendment Number 1 is adopted. Council has advised me, based upon 7-1.6, when a bill or resolution is before the Senate for consideration and a substitute has been offered, moving down to B, any amendment offered by a senator which contains more than 3 pages or is more than 1/2 the length by lines or words of the document which is amended shall be treated as a substitute for the purposes of this section. Now that the amendment has passed, this bill has gone back to the general calendar and will not be taken up today. Ms. Secretary, will you please read bills and resolutions from the House for the first time?
The following message was received from the House through Mr. Riley, the clerk thereof. Mr. President, the House has passed by the requisite constitutional majority the following bills of the House. House Bill 1550 by Representative Stevens of the 164th and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend an act to create the Board of Elections and Registration for Bryan County.
State and local government.
House Bill 1556 by Representative Martin of the 49th and others, a bill to be entitled an act to provide for a new homestead exemption from Fulton County School
State and
District.
local government.
House Bill 1570 by Representative Administration of the 104th and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend an act to continue and recreate.
State and local government.
House Bill 1578 by Representative Rhodes of the 120th and others, a bill to be entitled an act to provide for the designation of
State and local government.
House Bill 1585 by Representatives Cantrell of the 22nd and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend an act to create the State Court of Cherokee.
State and local government.
That completes the order, Mr. President.
Chair recognizes the senator from the 17th.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that Senate Rule 4-2.1 be suspended to allow Senate Bill 639 to be read for the first time and referred to committee.
Ms. Secretary, can you please read the caption?
Senate Bill 639, a bill by Senator Strickland of the 17th and others, a bill to be entitled an act to amend an act to provide for a new Board of Commissioners of Henry County and for other purposes. That completes the order, Mr. President.
Senator from the 17th has asked for unanimous consent that the rules be suspended for Senate Bill 639 to be read for the first time and referred to committee. Is there objection? The chair hears none, and it is assigned to state and local government. Chair recognizes the senator from the 21st.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that Senate Rule 4-2.1 be suspended to allow SR 792 to be read and adopted.
Mr. Secretary, will you please read Senate Resolution 792?
Senate Resolution 792, a resolution by Senator Beach of the 21st, a resolution recognizing March 27, 2022 as the Georgia Cup Day and celebrating the Georgia Cup's 25th anniversary and for other purposes. That completes the order, Mr. President.
Senator from the 21st has asked for unanimous consent that the rules be suspended for Senate Resolution 792 to be read and adopted. Is there objection? The chair hears none, and the resolution is adopted. Chair now recognizes the Majority Leader.
Mr. President, I move that the Senate stand adjourned until 10 a.m. on Monday, 28 March 2022.
Mr. Secretary, do you have any announcements?
The Rules Committee will meet immediately upon adjournment in 4:50 today. That completes the order, Mr. President.
Does any senator wish? Chair recognizes the senator from the 1st with an announcement.
Just a FYI, I just want to remind that we did have a Health and Human Services meeting on Monday at 7 a.m., but that is canceled. We're going to move those bills to Health and Human Services at our usual meeting Tuesday at 2, and we're going to have a special called meeting at 5 o'clock on Monday for HHS, and we'll be doing House Bill 1013 at that time. Thank you.
Chair recognizes the senator from the 48th with an announcement. What did we decide that name is? Drippy?
Whatever you want to call him is what he likes. Thank you, Mr. President. Just want to announce that the second blood drive of the session is happening today. There's a mobile unit right outside the doors of the Capitol between here and the CLOB. It's going to be there all day until 5 p.m. It's a Friday, so you have plenty of time to rest up over the weekend after you donate blood. We're in the worst blood shortage in a decade, so anything you can do to help our patients is going to be really appreciated, and Life South really appreciates your help as well. Thank you so much. I yield the well.
The Majority Leader has moved that the Senate stand adjourned until Monday, March 28th, 2022 at 10 a.m. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Everyone have a great weekend, and the Senate stands adjourned. Great job.